Welcome back to 3 Trials of Barbecue. Today, me and Scarlett, we're gonna start with dry brining this 15-pound brisket. We're gonna be using Goldees barbecue rub, and we're gonna be using this as our first trial of a prime brisket on our old country Pecos. We're gonna be cooking fat side up. So let's get into it. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and let that go, and then we're just gonna leave it in the fridge for about 12 to 16 hours, dry brining, and then we'll see you guys in the morning. We're gonna go ahead and leave our probes where they're at. We're going to insert one probe right in the middle. Welcome back, guys. So we're at 4 hours. Our internal temperature is 134. Our fire has died down a little bit. I didn't want to throw a split until I showed you guys how we're doing it today. So what I typically do is I take this size splits and I cut them in half. And so what I do is I alternate. So sometimes I keep them in there and I warm them up. And then I just keep rotating them. And when these start burning down, what I typically do is I'll take a whole one and I'll put it on top like that. So it keeps the fire going. Now I did have to add a little bit of charcoal in the beginning to keep it going as far as the coal beds, because basically what it is a quarter split, and because it's a small offset, it it feeds very well. So right now that we got this fired up, go ahead and close it up. Close down the door a little bit, and then let's take a look at this brisket. All right, so I was able to put some tallow in here, and I kind of scrunched it up so it wouldn't block my brisket smoke there. But you can see right here, starting to get a little crispy. So I'm gonna go ahead and spritz it, and I have spritzed. I think I started at the 2nd hour, and we're at the 4th hour. So I've already spritzed one time. So let's definitely adjust there. I'm gonna try to protect this brisket because, as you can see, it's starting to char up a little bit. It's taking the brunt heat of that fire. So I'm gonna cover it up and protect it. All right. So we'll let that go. We're going to shoot for about 165, 175, depending on what it is. And then we'll go ahead and wrap it. So we'll see you guys then. We finally hit that 10-hour mark. Our probe is telling us it's 163 internal. Let's take a look. This brisket is looking pretty good. Now, I was able to block the front of that brisket closest to the fire due to it taking the blunt heat. But then I noticed that the stack, it was also backing up there. So I had to block that side as well. So we're going to go ahead and take this off. Just check our point. We're right at 170. Our flat's at 168. So we're going to go ahead and take this off and we're going to go wrap this. All right. So we'll see you guys at the wrapping table. Take a look at this brisket. Just gonna let those juices drain down. So it's starting to poke through. I get a little bit of that yellow. It's already yellowing. So take those juices. That side up. We'll go ahead and throw it on and we'll see you guys when it's done. Welcome back, everyone. It only took 2 hours to get to 190. Let's go ahead and check this out. Our flat. $191. 192. This thing is perfectly cooked even. So I'm gonna yank it off at 190, 192, and we're gonna go ahead and long hold rest this. So take our heart monitor out. I'm gonna let it sit outside, let it come down to temperature, and then we're gonna be resting this in our oven that is calibrated to roughly run around 150 degrees or so. And then we're gonna see you guys in about 12 to 14 hours and we'll slice into this bad boy. We'll see you soon. Welcome back, everyone. After a 15-hour rest, you guys can see my Inkbird. Not only is it low on battery, but it's at 161, right in the middle of this brisket. So quick summary on what we did today is we seasoned, brined it overnight. Then we went ahead and used some oak wood on our old country Pecos. We went ahead and cooked it. It took about 10 hours just to get through the stall. Then we wrapped it in butcher's paper and we finished around 12 hours. So it's been resting for 15 hours now. We took it out at about 190 just to make up for that long rest. And we'll see what we got. This thing is juicy. It's jiggly. It's soft as can be. You could poke through to the fat and you can see it's got that caramel already. So not bad. The color is great on it. This is roughly about where our point starts. So let's go ahead and get a couple of slices, and we'll separate this point from the flat. Oh, it's butter. Let's take a look, guys. Look at that. Perfectly cooked. We got that caramel color right on the top here. Super juicy. Not even touching this. This is juicy right here. Just gonna get a little bit of tallow on there, and this is super jiggly. Go ahead and take a look at that, guys. Up here, look how juicy that thing is. The color, you can see the fibers. This is perfect. Now, I did a trial without telling you guys. I'm beginning to think that taking a brisket, look at that, guys. Taking a, look at that, guys. I'm beginning to think that taking a brisket to 200 degrees and above is okay if you're doing it for a short rest. I'm talking like 2 to 4 hours. But when you do a long hold, for you to get that perfect brisket, I think you have to take it out roughly around 190. We're going to go ahead and try this flat. Guys, that Goldees rub gives you that perfect saltiness. The Pecos was running beautiful last night. This thing has a hint of smoke from the wood. We ran clean. I've been experimenting with how to run a clean fire, and man, the last 3 or 4 times that I've done a cook, I think I've got it down. I'm gonna go in for a second bite here of this flat. Look at that thing. You know what, guys? I'm gonna go ahead and give you guys a bend test because this thing is soft. And when I mean soft, I mean clapping soft. So it's beautifully rendered. This brisket tastes awesome and delicious. Let's get some of this. I'm gonna go ahead and cut some of this point. Look at that, y'all. This is just the burned end part. Look at how the fat rendered perfectly. Now, I told you guys, I've been running, I've been trying to run cleaner fires. I'm gonna get this edge here. That was the best cut of meat that I've had in a while. So going back to it, I've been telling you guys that I've been trying to experiment with running cleaner fires. And I'll tell you, getting the fat to render is so important when you're cooking a brisket. When I knew that I was getting close to that stall, I started keeping my Pecos around 250 to 300 because you can't control the temperature like you can on a pellet grill. The whole day, I was ranging from 225 to 275, but once I knew I was getting in the stall, I knew that I had to crank up the heat to start rendering that fat a little bit better. And man, it paid off. I want to show you guys what this point looks like. See that caramel? Look how jiggly this thing is. It's just amazing. For being a prime brisket, our first prime brisket, this was a total success. And for you guys that have a smaller offset like a Pecos, I would definitely start considering maybe splitting those half splits into quarters and then cutting those quarters and start alternating. But if you have your own way, go ahead. Keeping that coal bed, sometimes you'll find you'll need to add a little bit of charcoal if it's not big enough. So I like for you guys to hit them likes. And if you haven't subscribed, please do. And we'll see you guys on the next one.
And my Uncle Boo, he did y'all's barbecue. He's the best cooker ever. And I hope we see you tomorrow.